morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Devotees flock to temples with the onset of Dasai. Vendors expect a boom in business. PM Deuba says all leaders cannot be appointed ministers, assures of appropriate responsibility to capable and qualified party members. Investment Board approves ₹73 billion for 2 hydropower projects, forms a committee to study the prospect of Upper Karnali project. UN and Taliban hold talks for the first time since Taliban takeover. Talks focus on humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. And top flight clubs unhappy over Newcastle takeover, complained that they were not informed about the deal. And now the news in detail. Devotees have started flocking to the temples of various goddesses with the onset of Dasai festival. The temples that had been closed for almost 2 years have been opened especially for Dasai. A report. With the main event of Dasai just around the corner, devotees in large number have started visiting temples of goddess Durga and her different forms to seek blessings. Temples like Bhadrakali, Naksal Bhagwati, Maiti Devi, Sobha Bhagwati, among others, have got a facelift for a Dasai festival. These temples have special significance during the Dasai festival. The temples that had remained closed for almost 2 years have been finally opened. Vendors around the temples are elated to see such a large numbers of devotees with expectation of making good business after a long time. Their business was badly affected in the past due to the pandemic. Although the business has boomed during the festival, customers are worried about the rising prices of clothes and shoes during this period. This year, a considerable number of people have been moving freely around thanks to the vaccination drive initiated by the government. However, the risk of infection still persists. The government has urged one and all to maintain health protocol while celebrating the festivals. Prime Minister and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has assured to entrust appropriate responsibility to the qualified and capable party members who could not be inducted in the cabinet while expanding the Council of Ministers. Unveiling a book on Biseswar Prasad Koirala published by the US chapter of School of Democracy yesterday, Prime Minister Deuba shared that he was feeling sad for not being able to induct some capable party members during Friday's cabinet expansion. He urged all sides to understand his compulsion while pledging to entrust those left with appropriate responsibility in the coming days. Noting that BP Koirala, Democracy and Nepali Congress are complementary to each other, lawmaker Min Biswakarma stressed that it was the need of the hour to make people understand about the meaning of democracy, its importance and practice. Likewise, former Ambassador Dinesh Bhattrai, constitutional expert Dr. Bipin Adhikari, Central President of School of Democracy and former President of Nepal Student Union Nayan Singh Mahar, among others, pointed out the need of further study and research about BP, saying BP's principles are equally relevant today. Finance Minister Janata Sharma has clarified that he would not allocate budget for any proposal presented without proper homework, plan and vision. The minister made such remark while inaugurating the 12th General Assembly of the National Campaign for Education NCE on Saturday. Minister Sharma expressed dismay over the investment in education sector going in vain while assuring approval for schools and colleges without proper study. He said that he was committed to ensuring free public education and establishing equality in education sector as mandated by the Constitution. The minister also called for cooperation from all sides in community level for effective implementation of the government's Earning While Learning program. Similarly, Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology Dr. Hari Lamsal said retaining the female students till higher education in the public schools was mounting challenge. However, gender equality was being achieved in the country's education sector, he added. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 760 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 801,633, while the number of active cases has dropped to 15,340. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 775,072 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far, following the recovery of 899 patients yesterday. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,221 after 11 fatalities were reported yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 45.17 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 33.95 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 238.34 million people across the world and claimed over 4.86 million lives. And now the news from economic front. The Investment Board Nepal has approved investments worth around Rs 73 billion for the construction and development of 2 hydropower projects. A report. The 48th meeting of the Investment Board, presided over by its chairperson and Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba, yesterday took a decision to this effect. As per the decision, the 56-megawatt Jumkhola hydropower project based in Dolakha district will get investment of around Rs 10.5 billion, while the 900 megawatt Arun 3 hydropower project based in Sankhwasabha district will receive investment of Rs 62.26 billion. Likewise, the meeting has decided to form a high-level study committee under the coordination of IBN Vice Chairperson to submit a report relating to the 900 megawatt Upper Karnali hydropower project within 45 days. The committee comprises representatives from the Ministries of Finance, Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, and Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, the IBN Chief Executive Officer, and an expert. IBN Joint Secretary is the member secretary of the committee. Similarly, the meeting also decided to approve the annual budget and programs of the IBN for the fiscal year 2021 and 22 and approve the share purchase and sale agreement of Samrat Cement and the Upper Trisuliwan hydropower project. On the occasion, Prime Minister Deuba directed all concerned sectors to make a long-term plan relating to increasing electricity consumption and to create conducive environment for investment. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. US officials have met Afghanistan's ruling Taliban for their first face-to-face talks since Washington pulled its troops from the country in August. The talks in Qatar are focusing on issues including containing extremist groups, the evacuation of US citizens and humanitarian aid, officials say. The US insists the meeting does not amount to recognition of the Taliban. It comes a day after Afghanistan suffered its deadliest attack since US forces withdrew. The suicide bombing at a mosque in the northern city of Kunduz killed at least 50 people and wounded more than 100 others. The Sayyid Abdad Mosque was used by the minority Shia Muslim community in the Sunni Muslim majority country. The Islamic State group said it was behind the attack. Speaking after the talks with the US opened in Qatar, Afghanistan's Taliban-appointed Foreign Minister Amir Khan Mutaki said the two sides had agreed to uphold the terms at the Doha Agreement signed in 2020. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Top flight clubs have complained to the Premier League after it cleared the £305 takeover of Newcastle by a Saudi Arabian-backed group. There is understood to be frustration from the club about how the deal passed the owners and directors test. Concerns also arose as to why they were not kept informed after the surprise news emerged on Wednesday. Additionally, there are worries as to how Saudi Arabian owners will reflect on the league itself. There are many human rights issues linked to the kingdom. Clubs are demanding a meeting with the Premier League, which was previously said that the takeover process would remain confidential. There is irritation with the Premier League board from all 19 other clubs who are united in the view they should have been kept updated on an issues of such significance. The club also feels they should have been told what had changed to allow the deal to proceed before it was completed. When approving the takeover on Thursday, the Premier League said it has received legal assurances from the new owners that the Saudi state would not control Newcastle United and there would be punishments if it was proven otherwise. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Devotees flock to temples with the onset of Dasai. Vendors expect a boom in business. PM Deuba says all leaders cannot be appointed ministers, assures of appropriate responsibility to capable and qualified party members. Investment Board approves Rs 73 billion for 2 hydropower projects, forms a committee to study the prospect of Upper Karnali project. UN and Taliban hold talks for the first time since Taliban takeover. Talks focus on humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. And top flight clubs unhappy over Newcastle takeover, complain that they were not informed about the deal. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.